Hey, it's Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica in Los Angeles, California. Here today to show you how to do reverse Namaste. So many people tell me they can't do this pose, but what I think they really mean is, for some reason it freaks them out and they don't even really go all out for it. So let's go all out. To start off, take your left arm behind you and interlace your fingers and just pull the left arm to sort of the front of your body. So it looks like this in back. Because what happens is that in yoga, we're almost always in external rotation in our arms. The only time our arms go internal is when we have our arm behind our back. For example, now. So we don't get a lot of experience with our hands behind our backs, and so it just seems weird sometimes. This right elbow, pull it backwards. See if you can pull the hands a little bit more forward. And then let's take it to the other side. I always suggest that when you interlace your fingers, you switch every finger over one. When you switch, just to get the emphasis on the other side, I sort of pull that arm out in front, seeing if I can get the hand more or less to the front of the body. Some of this depends on the length of your arms. Some of it depends on the openness of your shoulders or your elbows or any other such things. It doesn't really matter where you are. Just try to pull it in, and then let's pull the left elbow back. So the hands are in front and the arms in back look like this. Just getting a little bit of extra opening, understanding how the arm works behind the back, and release. Now, take your arms up, and we're going to do a little rootin' tootin' cowboy thing. So rootin' tootin' cowboy goes like this. However, I want you to try it behind your back. You don't have to go fast. In fact, I recommend you don't go fast. Take it up, pull it in. Take it up, pull it in. And just switch each time. You don't have to go at the same pace I go. But when you go up, let the shoulders go up, but this part of your shoulder down. So you're not all up here. Down here, up here. Pull it in. Rootin' tootin' cowboys. Pull it in. Okay? Because our arms don't do a lot of work in life behind us, right? They're always in front of us. So all you need to do is get used to that behind part. Okay, coming in now to our Gomukhasana arms. Now, I always recommend when the left arm, so this is my left arm comes behind, you see how my hand's over here. In order to get the clasp, it's going to have to be somewhere in the middle. Here's how I do it. With my right hand, I try to grab my elbow. Let's say I can. I pull, pull, pull until I can find my elbow. Now, if you can't find your elbow, this is work you're going to work on for a little while. But I pull that elbow in. Now, my hand, instead of being across my body, I bend my elbow and watch how I sort of walk my hand by turning it up my back. And look what's happening with my right hand. I'm pulling my elbow midline. Now look how high my hand is up my back now. Remember where it started? Over here. I pulled it in, and as I pulled it in, I sort of squiggled my hand up the back. You see how it's sort of doing like a comme ci, comme ça action to get up there? And then once I get up, right arm comes up, and clasp. You want your arm behind your head, okay? And when you do this one, try not to puff your ribs. Pull them in, okay? If you can't get this one, you know what you could do, right? You grab a strap. But this is a great warm-up for that bottom arm. Ta-da! Let's try the other side. And this may or may not make you feel any better, but I've got two really bad shoulders compounded with right now 2 pretty bad elbows. So Sometimes you have to work through a little edginess on this one. Remember that you want to go to a point where you feel like you're working the edge of the pose, but that you're not endangering yourself in any way, right? We don't want to tear anything out of our body, but we do want to stretch. If you're having trouble getting in, you may have to go a little bit deeper. Eventually, guys, the deeper becomes normal and comfortable. Here we go. So right arm is behind. This is my tighter arm. So I find what I can, pull it in, pull it in, pull it in. Ooh, my hand's on the wrong side. It's got to be on the other side of my arm, sorry. So see where my hand is? And remember where it needs to be? I start to bend my elbow and pull the elbow in at the same time. So as I pull my right elbow in, I move it up my back. Now this one is lower than my other arm, that's okay. I'm not a completely symmetrical human being, and chances are you're not either. Try to get that clasp right behind the head. Rib cage relaxes in, and arm is like a unicorn. Well, it's not really like a unicorn, because unicorns don't have horns at the back of their heads. They have them in their foreheads. At least last time I saw a unicorn, that's how he had his horns. So we're like reverse unicorn here, okay? Your head pressing into that top arm, by the way, helps you to maintain the clasp. Now see how I have basically all my fingers engaged in the clasp, the thumb not as important. If you're one of those people who likes to clasp with just one finger, hey, that's a hard one to hold on to. So let's get as many fingers as possible involved, because that way you can sort of bend your fingers to get yourself deeper into the posture. Okay, got those things? Remember, as with all my videos, you don't have to go all the way through the end the first time. Do what you can, work on that, and when you're ready, here we go. Coming into reverse namaste, my hands, my arms have to go in internal rotation. What does that mean? It means that with my palms facing forward with this neutral, I turn the thumbs in so they're facing backwards, okay? That's internal rotation. We only see this really in yoga when our hands are behind our back. And so, let's put our hands behind our backs. With my hands in internal, I'm going to go super internal. So instead of just going here, I go way in like this. Imagine you're a maitre d' at a fine restaurant. Take your hands behind your back and keep those elbows backwards, so you don't want them collapsing forward. It doesn't serve your purpose. Keep nice opening in the chest, and my hands right now at the lumbar curve. Now, to come up into my reverse namaste, I'm going to sort of flap my arms like butterfly wings. At the same time, my hands will crawl up. So, as my elbows go forward, I can turn my hands. And watch how it's elbows forward, pinkies together, elbows forward, I lift and in, elbows forward, I lift and in, elbows forward. And you see how as I flap my butterfly wings, you should excuse the expression, forward, my hands have more room to move up. Now, once I've arrived at my highest point, it doesn't matter where your highest point is. When you've arrived at your highest point, shoulders go back and down, elbows go back, and then the elbows press in towards each other. Notice how in my reverse namaste, every knuckle is flat. I'm not here with cupped palms. The difference is elbows back and elbows press into each other. And as with every time that I'm trying to get a hand flat, is the base knuckle of the first finger that's going to be the key. You get that one together, you got it all together. Now, if you need modifications, there are modifications. Let's say you're not quite there. You could do fists, like this. Remember when we grabbed our elbows before? You could grab elbows like this. So all of these things will help you to reach your full Namaste potential. Or you can do an upside down Namaste like this, okay? I would put them in order of preference exactly like that. Fists, elbows down. But don't get complacent, okay? It's okay if you can't do your full reverse Namaste today. It does not mean that you won't be able to do it tomorrow. Anytime you have a pose that you're working on that just ain't working, try again, each time a little deeper. Eventually you'll make it. One more time. I start with my arms in neutral, take them into a deep internal rotation. Major D at the back of my back, it makes no sense, the bottom of my spine. And then I start to butterfly wings. So as my arms go forward, my hands turn up. And I sort of squiggle. Each time my elbows go backwards, my palms come in. So it's up, in. Elbows forward, hands up, elbows back, hands in. Elbows forward, hands up, elbows back, hands in. One more time, up. Now when I'm all the way up, it's shoulders back and down, elbows back, and push those elbows together. Again, like before, try not to puff out your ribs, pull them down. You got yourself a fine reverse Namaste. And so, what I have to say to you is, reverse Namaste. Have a great day. I'm Shana Meyerson with YOGAthletica in Los Angeles, California. Don't forget to check out my Venmo channel for full-length videos that will keep you on your toes and open in your heart. Have a great day, as previously mentioned.